Okay, can you all hear me? I'm still in the office, but I think I have everything turned on properly. I'm checking the mic. Okay, can you all hear me? I'm still in the office, but I think I have everything turned on properly. I'm checking the mic. Okay, can you all hear me? I'm still in the office. Okay, great. Thanks, C. I'm going to leave my dogs in the office so they don't chase things. Move, guys. So I have nothing real planned. I just, since it's relatively warm and not too icy, I made the round pen a little bit bigger so we can jog around it. And now that I have a rideable horse, I just want to ride all the time, and it's tough with this footing. Hey, buddy. So what I've done is I put one more panel into the round pen, and I walked around, and it's not icy, it's slushy. And when it gets icy, I can put a sand salt mixture here around the outside. He does not have shoes on, so when the ground freezes, what's that? When the ground freezes to the extent that he doesn't pound it down with his feet, I won't be able to ride him because it could cause bruising. But let's see how it goes. Hey, there's a big rock over there I should probably get out. I'm working on his saddle fit also, because I think, good, look how relaxed he is. I'll tell you about that in a second. I think his saddle bridges, which means there's not a lot of contact in the middle of his back. There's pressure in the front, up there by his withers, and there's pressure in the back, but there's not even pressure along his back, I don't think. And he hasn't really sweated enough for me to be able to tell. But what I do notice is that, what on earth is this? What I do notice, if he steps on that, that wouldn't be good. He just seems uncomfortable. He stretches out when we stop after we've been riding a little while. And although he's very willing, well, actually he's not. A lot of things he does under protest, but he doesn't buck or anything from discomfort. But I'm wondering if he stretches out because his back kind of hurts. So I borrowed Mickey's pad, which hasn't been used, which isn't used as much as the other ones. And it has shims in it. I'm trying to dig this out at the same time. So the shims are pressed wool felt rectangles that you can add or take away in order to increase or level, there we go, level the saddle on the horse. It's okay. So what I did was took Mickey's and I took the shims out of the front of the pad and the back of the pad, leaving them in the center of the pad. And just looking, hi bud, the saddle seems to be fitting nice. You really can tell a saddle fit better without a pad, but since I'm trying to adjust, since I'm trying to even out the pressure, I have to do it with a pad. Hi, buddy. And I'm running my hands underneath. It should be taking up some of the space. What do you think? I'm going to take the breast collar off because I don't need it, and I'd also like to see where the saddle sits on his back without forcing it to stay forward. I think that's 2 sniffles, see, but who's counting? It's not cold if you keep moving. What I would like to do every day or most days is just get on and jog for 20-30 minutes, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to with the footing. I was talking to Taylor texting with Taylor about his unwillingness or confusion around cantering or loping. And she thinks that he's not that broke of a horse, that he's just been a nose-to-tail walking in a line guy for quite a few years, which makes sense. He's very good at just putting his head down in a line and walking without having to think or being asked to do anything. So I do want to make sure that his responses to what I'm doing are from ignorance, really, about what he's being asked and not discomfort. I'm also thinking about the trip, of course, and I know. And I got some stuff. It's a little bit of a calmative. It has L-tryptophan and magnesium and some other stuff in it. And it's for horses who are under stress, like traveling. And I've given it to him a couple times. I gave it to him now about 15-20 minutes ago. And I think it really does seem to kind of take the edge off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up his front feet. Come on. Come on. Were you asleep? Come on. Pick up his feet. Come on. And pull it forward a little bit. Easy. So there's no skin and hair stuck in the cinch. Were you asleep? Goodness. There you go. I better get my riding boots on. These boots would never come out of a stirrup in case of an emergency. The last time I rode him, he got a lot better at maintaining his jog around the arena. The first time, it was as if he didn't know what I was asking him to do. So in a way, he could be, I mean, he's not a blank slate because he's 13, but I really don't know what he knows and what he doesn't know, and it's all going to be trial and error. At the same time, keeping myself safe. He's only done one thing that concerns me. He got a little stubborn out in the arena, and he stiffened his neck for a second, which is bad, because that means if I need to turn him for an emergency stop, he could do that and I couldn't turn his head. So we're going to work on flexion. We're going to work on keeping a jog. And we're going to work on keeping a willing attitude about it. I'm starting to wonder if this happy attitude myth is actually fact. We'll see. Granted, I haven't had him very long and haven't really done much with him. And what I think is that, what I'm hoping is that, when we've worked some time together and spent time together, and that we'll develop a really close relationship. And how special will that be when it happens? And it could take a long time. I really don't know. See, I'm out of breath already. It seems like the cold air does that more than warm air. So, do I have all my stuff? Boots, helmet, gloves. I'm also going to get on him out there from the fence instead of the mounting block, or instead of getting on from the ground, until I know him better, and I'm sure he'll stand. Getting on from the ground makes me a little nervous if he should decide to take off. He did start to walk away. When he first came, he would walk away when you started to get on, and I took care of that pretty quick. So what I really have to do, and like most things, it's a tremendous amount about me, is I really need to be patient, and however long it takes to get to the relationship that I want to have, which is 100% trust in both directions. There is no shortcut and there's no rush. Right, buddy? He's licking and chewing. Why don't you back up for me? One thing we've been working on is having him move over, because, man, when I asked him to move over, being tied, he just would not do it. I really don't think he knew how. He didn't know what I was asking him. Once he figures something out, though, he remembers it. I was going to take him for a hand walk down to the riparian, but I thought, since I have the ground not icy, I might as well get on. There are a couple of, hey buddy, indoor arenas very close that for a very small haul-in fee you can go and ride in the arena. I don't anticipate being able to do it enough to get him in shape, because he's certainly not in shape at all. So if I thought that I could get him in really good physical condition for the trip, I would, but I just don't see having the time to do that. So I have no problem with taking easy rides in January. I don't need to gallop all over the place. I was in my chat room a little bit, making sure this is comfortable. And I've been working, this morning, it's a day off. G3 is doing chores today. And I'm making it comfortable. Don't get argumentative. And so I mapped a route, taking 15 down right past Vegas, and then going to Joshua Tree National Park, meeting up with my mom, and then I'll show you what the shims look like. Meeting up with my mom, staying there for 4 nights, and then moving on. This is a shim, saddle pad shim. And I had a good route planned. It was ambitious for a month to get out of here and back in 30 days. But anyway, I put it on. I took a picture of the route that I'm using. Gosh, these are slippery boots. Using roadtrippers.com to map. And I put it on a Facebook group I belong to, which is called, I forget, HCTAA, I don't know, High Country something. I'm going to walk around first and make sure this ground's good. And a lot of people were, oh great, I always wanted to do that, da-da-da-da-da, which was very nice. A lot of people, all from the whole trip, said, you know, I'm right outside of Ogden. You're welcome to stay. You know, provide a hot meal and a hot bath, and your horse will have a nice stall with a shelter. And then if you want to stay a couple days, I'll show you some trails. All this really nice people all over the place. And then footing's pretty good. And then a couple people, I was telling Wasson, were either negative or realistic, which is, boy, getting through, once you're through Idaho and, you know, through St. George, you're probably okay, but that could be tough, the mountain passes. And I do know that. So I quickly did up another route that went east from here, and then down through Denver. And that's not bad either, except the wind over there is hellacious. And so I don't think I'll do that. It was going to be my route back, but I don't know. So then I thought, well, just go straight to the west coast and drive down, which I could do. So I don't know. I talked to James, who's done a lot of driving down 15. And he said, well, it's only really a couple of days. You know, I can't drive at night, so I can't make it a straight shot. And I do have places to stay along the way for 2 nights, for example, if I needed to. I'm also pretty flexible. You know, he's going to get his shoes on the 27th or so of December. And then I can just keep a really close eye on the road conditions. Hi, yeah, I know. What are we doing standing here, huh? So that's still up in the air. I'm going to, come on. I'm still going to plan on 15 down and then just keep an eye on things. Let me get to where I'm not going to slip. So, thank you. You all right? I know. It is so, I'm so not used to riding in so many clothes. So let's see how he does with me being awkward and sloppy getting on. It's this one foot you got to be careful of. Good boy. Nope, we don't walk until I say so. Nope, afraid not. Oh, it feels so good to be on a horse. So I think that's what I'm going to do, everyone, is plan for 15 and see how it goes. You know, maybe if there's something bad happening, I will have, you know, options. All right, let's walk. I'm keeping my right toe tucked in so we don't hit the rail. You know, I don't know what his past is like, but you know, once he realizes something's not bad and once he understands it, he's pretty great. I could have done research. Oh, that was a deep breath. Good boy. Could have done research and found a horse I knew a lot about, but, you know, what are you going to do? It's a very good thing for both of us, I think. Now, I can't tell you how great this is. How just great this is, right like this. So, we're going to do neck reining. He's very good at neck reining. You see, I'm not actually pulling on his mouth. I'm just laying the rein against Tib's neck and pushing with slightly with my left leg. I got a new tailgate for my truck. The kind that you have when you're going to be hauling a gooseneck trailer. I'll be taking my truck, and then in a couple of weeks I'm going to have the turnover ball put in the bed. And then I need to have my windshield wiper, my washer fluid thing looked at, because only one side works, and I've had 4 mechanics look at it. No one can figure it out, but I will definitely need washer fluid on my trip. I'll have an article in the next magazine talking about my preparations, and it will be interesting. You know, there's no pressure, so if it's not going well, I can stop. If it's, you know, I can turn around, I can do whatever. It's just kind of small to work in, isn't it, buddy? But the more we do everything that's pleasant, the better our relationship will be in the long run. Another thing about riding in the arena in the snow is that or riding anywhere where it's snow, is that the snow packs into their hooves and forms a big ball, and they can be a good couple inches off the ground. And that can have a very negative impact on their tendons in the leg. You could cripple a horse doing that. And he doesn't have shoes, so it wouldn't be so bad. You can have snow pads put under shoes. You don't get to stop. And there we go. People have said Vaseline, people have said WD-40, people have said, you know, lard. And I put some Vaseline on the other day and it worked for about 15 minutes. You know what? He does a lot of this. You might notice his ears going back a lot. And he just doesn't want to do what I'm asking him to do, and that's not good. So that's why the saddle pad and different experiences, because if it's discomfort, that's one thing. If he's just being disrespectful and unwilling, that's another thing. And at my age, I don't care. I do not want a horse that I cannot trust. Who? Okay, he's very good at flexing. Good boy. Good. How about this way? Why don't we just turn that way? Good. So in the event he's taking off or I'm being run away with or something, there's the emergency stop. It's also known as the horse falling down on you stop. So what you want to do is turn their head and slow them down, slow them to a stop. If you yank their head around, the horse is going to fall down. You might see in movies when the rider gets shot or the horse gets shot and the horse falls down. Watch what they do. They pull the head around and drop the horse to the ground. In the old movie days, the horses would trip over something. They would put a wire or a rope and they'd fall. Oh. So there's really not a lot of reason to be irritated right now. I doubt he's had to do a lot of work either. I also have to say that I'm not so emotionally attached that I would not be able to sell him to the right person if I don't feel safe on him. Man, the sound of hoofs, the sound of hoofbeats is just crazy, crazy cool. Now, he wouldn't even do this last week. He's cheating the distance on me a little bit. Just doesn't like to work. But he's keeping his jog. See how his head's turned to the outside? He's protesting. I do like this little western jog, though. Oh, really? Then we're going to keep going. So I have to do this until he relaxes. So we could be here all day. Ho. That's one ear forward. Can we do both? Really not, I'm not asking him to keep this job, really. So that's good. And every time he even thinks about walking, I ask him to go forward. There's a good boy. He's moving forward a little more freely. His head's dropping. And walk. Good boy. I think James told you on the chat also, but he came to tell me that there is a squirrel up on the bench. Oh, put my gloves on. Up on the bench feeder, and we do have a plan for that. I just have to tomorrow, I believe, I will work on that. I have some slinkies. However, they're knockoff slinkies, so they're not, the diameter's not enough to slide up the pole, but I'll have to figure out a way to put them up there. And I'm also going to grease the pole, which will be hilarious. There you go, see? The slinkies I could either wrap around, or I could about, 3 or 4, well, let me see what I can do. Yeah, I was thinking about stringing the slinkies across so they have to walk across them, which would be funny. We're not sure if the squirrel or squirrels are jumping from the tree to the feeders. So if you happen to have any insight into that, that'd be great. If they're jumping from a tree, we might have to cut a branch or two. Now this cannot be uncomfortable for you. Let's discuss, Crow. So you just don't want to work, or what? Let's have a discussion. Oh. So let's discuss. What do you think? The food aggression we dealt with, I don't know how it went with G3 this morning, but with me it's pretty good. I still take the stock whip in to move him if his ears are back, but he's better. And it's interesting, it's in his stall, it's not outside his stall. So maybe he's protective of that. Yeah, I'm talking to people. What are you doing? What are you doing? Good. He knows his flex. He's stiffer to the right. Good. There you go. He's much stiffer to the right. There's also something. There we go. There's like a weird bump or scar tissue or something here on his neck to the right. A little more. See how he's not giving? There we go. You probably can't see that. There we go. Good. Good. I think it's just attitude, because even when I'm going to ask him, who knows? It's jog to the right, buddy. There's no rear and there's no buck, so that's good. I want everything to be on a loose rein if I can. Good boy. And this is his stiffer direction. I'm not bouncing on his back. He's keeping this on his own, which is great. Come on. And walk. Good boy. Come on now. He doesn't have this attitude when he's walking in a line of horses. And walk. Here you go. His head's dropping and he's not arguing so much. I think we're supposed to have some cold nights starting Thursday. Is that tomorrow? Yeah. I would like to go down to the riparian. There's a pretty good hill to go down. And again, the snow in the feet. Oh. Nothing's a big deal, buddy. I also belong to a Facebook group called Old Cowgirls Never Die. And it's wonderful because everyone's our age. You know, 50, they're 50 to 85. And it's a really, really good group for encouragement and I know. See, all we're doing is sitting. It's a good thing. Encouragement to, you know, get out when you don't feel like it. Get out when you hurt. You know, and even if you don't ride, going out and just hanging with your horse is a good day. And if someone's horse passes, you know, that you get, there's over 1,000 people that respond with support and all that. So it's pretty nice. See, this isn't bad. So watch what happens when I pick up the reins. He's kind of listening. He's not really annoyed yet. Watch what happens. Now, why is that a big deal to you? See? Life is good. I don't think he was used in the winter for hunting trips. He certainly is not desensitized to gunshots or dead animals, so I know he didn't pack elk out. But he's certainly more trained than any horse I've ever gotten as an adult, because I just bought horses because they were cute and we had that bond. But I've learned so much lately that if he is a green horse, I feel pretty good about listening to him and correcting what I need to correct and being patient. So see, this isn't bad. You're wondering what we're going to do next? So part of my trip, it could be below 0 on the road, actually. So I have a good variety of blankets for him. if I need them for the trailer. I'm actually not too concerned otherwise, but standing and not being able to move, he could get pretty cold. Well, his ears are up. He's not annoyed. So actually, there you go. So this is probably a good place to stop, even though I could ride forever. But he's relaxed. His head is down. His ears aren't back. He's listening to me talk. See that? The right ear? That's very good. I'll show you one more thing. I'm not going to do anything that I have here. I made this out of my orange lead rope. I have another one in my room. I'll probably take instead because I want my lead rope. But I made what's called a catch halter. Is this the one I made? Oh no, I have one I like better. So what this does is you can see that I could even use it without the ring, but the ring makes it nice. Is that stand still? Is this goes either around his nose or behind his ears. I prefer to do this around the nose, and then this goes behind his ears, and I slide the end of this through the rope, through the ring, and I have a quick halter if I need it. And I'm hanging it on the front of my saddle for now, just so he gets used to it flopping around. If I'm going through brush or something, I'll probably put it in my saddlebag. And I don't want to tie it onto this. I tie it on my saddle strings, which are these. So one, it's handy in an emergency, and two, if it gets caught, caught up on something, these will break pretty easily, as opposed to this right here, which is meant to hold a lariat, a rope. So that's right there, and I can grab it if I need it. Also, it's short enough that the loop is short enough that I won't get my foot through it, getting on or off. And when I'm getting off, some people put them on the back of the saddle, but if I get off, my foot can get stuck in it. And because we're not at that place yet when I don't know what he's going to do. Something I have noticed, though, which is great, is, hi, are you bored? One, he got his foot through a rope. I think you were down there when I was interviewing Hawk, and he was caught up in the rope in such a way that his head was right down at the ground, and the rope was right around his foot, right there, and that could have been a disaster. But he just stood there and waited to be helped. And where was I? Was I in the arena? I forget. The front. Your board, should we walk? The noseband got stuck on something somewhere, and when he felt that he was trapped, he did not pull back. Again, he just stood, not completely oblivious. He knew something was up, but he did not pull back. He just waited to be freed. So that bodes well. Okay, now you're bored. I think we're going to get off, because actually that was uneventful. And he's so much better now. Oh, I didn't say stop, though. I was thinking about stopping, though. Oh. So I probably did tell you to stop, and it was all my fault. There's a really funny comedian who had a Facebook post, and his girlfriend rode horses. And he said, you know what, he goes, I just don't understand it, that no matter what happens, no matter how badly she gets hurt, it's never the horse's fault. She goes, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. She was like, black and blue. Oh, totally my fault. He's like, how is that possible? Anyway, again, I could ride forever, but this is a good stopping place. So I can't possibly mic up every time I'm out here, because I don't really have that much to say. If I'm working on something in particular, I will, if you want me to. So that's it. I'm going to continue working on my trip, and I'll keep you informed. Again, it's just that window through Idaho and northern Utah, you know, anywhere around the beginning of the year. I certainly don't want to go New Year's Eve, right, with all the drunks on the road. But what I've found is January 1st is usually a pretty good time to travel. I used to come back from New York on January 1st, and there was hardly anyone out because they were all hungover. So that might be the best chance I've got. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. Licking and chewing. It's a good deal. Good deal, Cranky Pants. Do we have another whiskey on our hands? I don't think so. All right, guys, I'm going to keep the mic on, but I'm going to mute it once I go into the tap room, I think. Good boy. Good boy. Come here. Good. Thank you. Thank you. Back up just a little. Okay. Thanks. The more I do something, the less irritated. I remember walking him in the arena used to be an issue. So I'm also I have no need of crazy backcountry stuff. So just having a nice little trail horse is my goal. There you go. What's your deal, huh? What do you think? He's very sweet. I've also learned from my Zen grooming that, which is just remarkable. So now when I bring a brush out, he just completely relaxes. There's a nice deep breath. I gotta check the phone, it's ringing. You've probably seen, I've tied him up with what we call a collar. It's kind of like it's a huge dog collar. And I wanted him to be able to be tied up and comfortable. It's kind of like what he's doing right now. You can see. Because if I don't have a halter, or I want to have a halter and a neck collar, so if one breaks and the other doesn't, he'll stand like this, which is cool. I will. He didn't sweat at all. It's going to be tough to see if the shim's made any difference. Although I'm getting a feeling that he's a little more comfortable. What do you think about that, huh, buddy? I'm going to have to put... Hi. I'm going to have to put the bell boots on him like I had on Doc, the ones that I put on upside down to protect the front of his legs, because he's getting cut up a little bit from lying down on the hard ground, especially on the back. His hocks, which are these joints here, he's got some cuts from lying down in his stall. The ground's pretty hard in there. So I hope I didn't sniff too much. You're being very good. You really are. really hard to tell. Maybe it's the withers that are more the issue. What I'll have to do is put some flour or some powder on his back and then put the saddle on and see if there's any pressure points, because you can see his back. You know, it's almost like he's sway backed, but he's not. The issue is he has an undeveloped top line. So these muscles right here are really undeveloped because he hasn't worked very hard at all. So once that's what the belly lifts do. See that? Once those muscles get developed, that won't be a problem. It's just work. I know when I got it on him a few times, his back came right up. Put a little antibiotic on those places. And then clean his feet. Oops. All right, buddy, hold on a second. I know, it's not your favorite thing, but I'm glad you're sucking it up for me. Thank you. There you go. The less you think, the more relaxed they are, literally. I'm working on being more right-brained than I am, and it makes a big difference. All right, I'm going to brush him up, take his feet. Cornstarch would work. I have a bunch of cornstarch. I think I'll bring that out. Maybe tomorrow. And I'll mic up when I figure out this, when I come to do more work on the saddle. It might just be right there. But I would bet it doesn't fit great right now. It's a good boy. Good boy. Hi. You're all right. I know he likes this. What's up? Easy. You're all right. When the horse doesn't have shoes on, though, you have to be careful that they don't get gravel stuck in their white line. I'm so paranoid about feet. I mean, Doc's feet were an issue since I got him, really. And I'm very paranoid about it. Okay, move over. Look how good you are moving over now. Well, can I have this one? Get settled. Here you go. Good boy. You're all right. I think he's got separation here. Come on. Give me your foot. When I say separation, it's separation of the hoof wall. And if that is what that is, then I think it's growing out. I'll talk to my farrier about that. Hey, buddy. Okay, everyone, I'm going to mute, and I think I'll just let him go. It's not very slick. And let him walk around a little bit. And I'll ask G3 to put the little ones back up, because I think it's going to get really icy overnight. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for giving me someone to talk to when I'm out here. That's all I know. I'll be sure to mic up and let you know beforehand when I do the cornstarch on his back. All right. Thanks. See you later.